Hey everyone, SolarPrimal here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Beldum was our toughest challenge yet. Let's switch things up with a fun one. Can I beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of Leafeon and Glaceon? This will go about the same as my Espeon and Umbreon in Heart Gold challenge. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Let's look at their stats. Leafeon is the physical attacker / defender, and Glaceon is the special attacker / defender. And look at these move pools. It's more than one move. Sorry, just a bit of PTSD from the Beldum challenge. Once we get both Leafeon and Glaceon, we shouldn't have too many issues. Though one glaring problem I see will be fire type moves, cause yeah, they're both weak to fire. Luckily, we should have enough type coverage with moves to help out with that. Plus, it's Sinnoh, there's like 2 fire types. And to those wondering, yes, I will be starting this challenge with Eevee first, then evolving it later to a Leafeon as soon as I can. Glaceon will be handled the same way. I do this because I want to utilize the game's mechanics introduced in this generation, so it makes sense to play it this way. This does mean the rock gym will be troublesome, but not impossible. As always, do keep in mind that I am writing this script as I go through the challenge, so all this is being written before I get started. Comment down below your guesses if I can win or not. I don't see this being a cakewalk, but I should have a relatively easier time than the solo challenges. Let's go over the rules. Only Leafeon and Glaceon can be used in battle. The EVs will be allowed, of course, until they're fully evolved. And I can catch other Pokemon for HMs or to complete other tasks. No glitches or exploits, and no items in battle, with the exception of held items. So, without any further ado, let's do this. After being lectured about running into Tallgrass without a Pokemon, we are given the choice of a starter Pokemon. The Universal Randomizer did swap Turtwig for Eevee as planned, though the game still shows a Turtwig at this screen. Eevee's cry is still heard though. Before I even get a chance to check out Eevee's stats, Barry challenges us to a battle. Of course, his Chimchar is swiftly taken down since Eevee has Stab with Tackle. And no other reason. So, looking over Eevee's stats. We got the Bashful nature. That's a neutral nature, along with the adaptability ability. That's great for now, but it'll eventually become Leaf Guard, so good start, but meh overall. Once we finally get to nickname Eevee, I go with Konoha, since it'll be our hidden leaf. Its true potential won't be realized until later. We already know that the first gym is going to give us some trouble, so I might as well Eevee train a little as we make our way up. As Dawn shows us how to catch Pokemon, I noticed she also picked the Chimchar? I can't blame her. So as for context, for those that don't know, because I have technically picked a Turtwig for my starter, Barry picked a Chimchar, so there should have been a Piplup left? I don't know why she has a Chimchar. Time for our next rival battle. And since we got ahead in levels by a lot, his team is taken out by a couple tackles. Let's see how the first gym goes. Sadly, Geodude's Rock Throw outdamages our tackle, so Konoha doesn't survive long. We try again at level 22 with 69 HP. Nice. Setting up 3 growls and a barrage of quick attacks, we knock out Geodude. We do the same with Onix as well, with a few sand attacks. This helps us attack with a flurry of quick attacks to eventually knock out Onix. Cranidos is hit with a few sand attacks, but despite that, we're struck with Headbutt knocking out Konoha. Not too bad, almost there. So at level 24, we go for Growl 3 times on Cranidos and a single sand attack before attacking with quick attacks. That's a lot of attacks in one sentence. We survive with 2 HP to knock out Cranidos, ending the battle. Through a lot of trickery, we obtain our first gym badge. With nothing standing in our way, literally Team Galactic does nothing, we arrive at our next major event, Evolving Eevee. But I notice one thing. We're so close to level 29 where Eevee learns Bite. This will be very helpful later on, so I don't want to miss out on it. The trade-off is once evolved to a Leafeon, it'll learn synthesis as well, so yay! We'll come back here in a few levels. So as planned, we come back to Moss Rock at the top end of level 28. That way we learn Bite as we level up and then evolve into a Leafeon. Arriving in Eterna City, we take on the gym. Having to battle grass types with a grass type was interesting to say the least. Gym leader Gardenia is up. Turtwig survives the first bite to set up Reflect, smart move, and then is taken down next turn. Roserade is on a mission to paralyze Konoha with Stun Spore but misses both times as well as becoming flinched. Despite Gardenia healing up Roserade back up, Reflect wears off so it's taken down after a couple more bites. And then Trim is knocked out after 2 bites, ending the battle. That's our second gym badge done and dusted. Team Galactic's Jupiter gives us a bit of trouble the first time around with us missing attacks and getting poisoned. But our second go around I equip the Pecha Berry to help against the poison status. And we get much luckier this time around. After dealing with Team Galactic, again, we head down to Hearthome City. Once arriving there, we head straight to the house right next to the Poke Center to pick up our second Eevee. We nickname him Haku. See if you get the reference. Haku has a relaxed nature, defense is up and speed is down. Interesting. And the runaway ability. Again, this doesn't particularly matter in the end since it'll just become Snowcloak once evolved. Now we won't be able to evolve Haku for a long time. Pretty much right before the 7th gym. And he won't be super useful for the next gym either. But I did discover that the experience share also shares the awarded EVs from battle. So this should help things along. Gym leader Fantina's up. With Leafeon using Bite and being much higher level than Fantina's Pokemon, we swiftly knock out her Pokemon. Third gym badge done and dusted. While we have a moment to catch our breath, let's teach Konoha Bullet Seed, since our next 2 grass moves are special attacks. And while I'm exciting you with game stats, why not consider following me on Twitter? Shameless plug done, let's move on. Next is a rival battle as we head east from Hearthome. Saravia is 2-shot by Bite. Monferno is expectedly troublesome as we are burned with its Flame Wheel. Konoha knocks out Monferno but barely survives the encounter with 8 HP. Synthesis keeps us going as we combat Rosalia, knocking it out after a few bites. Barry's last Pokemon is Buizel, so we take a turn to heal it with Synthesis. Bullet Seed was the right call as we knock out Buizel after a couple loads of our new grass move. As we head back up to the Poke Center, our A catches. Over medium shall make a great HM Fly user later. Cruising right along, we arrive at Veilstone City, and with that, the Veilstone City Gym. Fake Out slows us down against Meta-type, but the following Bullet Seed nearly knocks it out before recovering a bit of HP through Drain Punch. The second Bullet Seed finishes off Meta-type. Our bout with Lucario doesn't come as easy though. Bullet Seed doesn't gain as much ground, but neither does Force Palm. We switch things up with Bite, not doing as much damage, but at least we're gaining the flinch. Though I didn't realize Lucario had Steadfast. Oops. Things don't go much better as the next Force Palm paralyzes Konoha. So after a lot of back and forth with Lucario striking with either Force Palm or Drain Punch, Konoha being paralyzed or healing himself with Synthesis, we eventually knock out Lucario with Quick Attack. Machoke was a struggle with Konoha being paralyzed, but our high defense helps us take even critical hits from Machoke. We rain down Bullet Seeds and wrap up the battle with a Quick Attack. That's the 4th gym badge done and dusted. Crashing our way to Pastoria City and into our next rival battle. Saravia is down after 3 bites. We switch into Haku to toss a couple sand attacks at Monferno as it sends 2 Mach Punches our way. Switching back to Konoha for the 3rd Mach Punch. Konoha then puts up the fight of her life by healing with Synthesis and getting a few hits in where we can. But our fight prevails against Monferno as we eventually knock it out with a crit Quick Attack, and Haku levels up to 35. We stick it out against Rosalia. Luckily we have enough Synthesis left to keep going. And after a few bites we knock out Rosalia, leveling Konoha up to 40. Last up is Weasel. And with the help of a final synthesis, we land a couple sets of Bullet Seed to knock out Weasel. Now it's time to make some waves against Pastoria City Gym Leader Crasher Wake. We send in Haku first to take Gyarados' Intimidate. Haku then gets a Sand Attack in for good measure before we switch back out to Konoha. Gyarados and Konoha then have a Bite off. That is until Crasher Wake heals his Pokemon back to full and we sneak in a Bullet Seed. After a few more bites, Gyarados goes down. Floatzel challenges us with its Ice Fang, but we're able to combat it with a handful of Bullet Seeds and Synthesis. That Synthesis has come in real handy. Then a Quick Attack knocks out Floatzel and Haku levels up to 37. Last up is Quagsire, who doesn't survive long to Bullet Seed, and is finished off with a Quick Attack. 5th Gym Badge done and dusted. I know what some of you might be saying in the comments. You could have relearned Razorleaf from the move relearner. Sure, but I may want to keep the heart skill for future use. Moving right along to our next challenger. Team Galactic boss Cyrus. Haku hits Sneasel with a few quick attacks as it stacks up the screeches before we are knocked out in one shot by Ice Punch. Ouch. Konoha sent out nearly finishes off Sneasel as it uses another screech. Cyrus heals Sneasel back up to full and Konoha hits with Quick Attack again. We crit on the next Quick Attack as Konoha is hit with Ice Punch. Luckily, those defense EVs do their work. One more Quick Attack then finishes off Sneasel. We combat Golbat with Bites and Synthesis versus its Air Cutter where the second one crits. So this proves troublesome as it forces us to use even more Synthesis. But we eventually knock out Golbat. With us beat up as we go into Murkrow, we struggle to hold our own after Konoha is knocked out after 2 hits. So we try again. I decide to teach Konoha Dig to help with some type coverage, as well as swapping out the experience share for King's Rock on Haku, just for now. Dig proves to be useful as we 2-shot Sneasel down with it while taking an Ice Punch along the way. Golbat's Air Cutters are still a force to be reckoned with as we use up our Synthesis to survive hits from it. Luckily, after a few bites, we knock out Golbat and level up to 43. Now I have an opportunity to learn Giga Drain, but Bullet Seed would still be more useful with the way that we EV train Konoha. Things are still looking rough against Murkrow, but we somehow flinch with 3 bites in a row. This allows us to chip away at Murkrow enough to give Haku the winning blow with a Quick Attack. So Konoha's been carrying the team so far, and sadly, Haku's not quite there yet, but he's trying. Moving on to Canalave City to take on the next gym. But before that is our next rival battle. Haku tries his best against Staraptor, but eventually is knocked out. Then Konoha finishes off Staraptor with a couple bites. Heracross is tricky to deal with since we don't have any moves that are effective against it. So I go for the Dig strat even if it doesn't do well. But we do get a crit on one. And then the third Dig knocks out Heracross. Infernape is one shot by Dig. Konoha uses Dig as Roserade sets up Toxic Spikes. Dig deals a good amount of damage, but then Grass Whistle puts us to sleep. We remain asleep as Roserade lays more Toxic Spikes. But Konoha wakes up the next turn and bites Roserade down. Floatzel then takes a couple batches of Bullet Seed before going down. Now it's time to face the Canalave City Gym Leader, Byron. Magneton is one shot by Dig. Haku tries to stall Steelix, but it is clear that we are no match. So Konoha steps up to the plate. We're locked into an epic battle against Steelix. Gideon hits with Dig, fending off damage from Flash Cannon and Sandstorm. We're brought down to 25 HP, so Konoha heals with Synthesis, but then Steelix bites down with Ice Fang. We counteract with Synthesis as Steelix conjures up another Sandstorm. We then finish off Steelix with Bullet Seed. Konoha goes for Dig and Bastiodon sets up Iron Defense. Dig does decent damage as Bastiodon misses Stone Edge. Dig hits again, triggering Bastiodon's Citrus Berry, and it uses Metal Burst. Konoha uses Synthesis and the next Metal Burst fails. A final Dig knocks out Bastiodon, ending the battle. 6th Gym Badge done and dusted. Poor Haku can't wait to evolve, and I feel the same way. So after handling a bit of Team Rocket, we finally get to evolve Haku into a Glaceon. Once we arrive at Snow Point City, I actually backtrack to revisit some of the move tutors to revitalize Haku's move pool. For some of these, like Ice Beam, I need lots of money to exchange at the game corner. I've skipped a lot of trainers up until now, so we'll need the amulet coin to make this worth our while. So a quick trip to Amity Square to pick it up. We did have to catch a Pachirisu to get in though. Let's take a quick break to check out what Haku's hidden power could be. It deals regular damage to the Ralts, regular damage to Dustox, super effective damage to Geodude, super effective to Budew, which makes Glaceon's hidden power Ice.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. But you just can't.
Well, that's unfortunate. We are saving up for Ice Beam anyways, so I guess no hidden power this time. With that, Snow Point City Gym Leader Candace is up. Sneasel gets a hit in with Ice Shard before going down with Dig. The next Ice Shard misses as Konoha emerges to deal a decent amount of damage. Candace heals Sneasel back up to full, but we go for Dig again. This causes Sneasel to miss the next attack and take damage from Dig. And then another Dig knocks out Sneasel. Haku takes on Frostlass and takes her down after landing a single Shadow Ball. Piloswine is hit with Water Pulse, becomes confused, and then knocks itself out. Haku hits with Ice Beam, dealing regular damage, and Abomasnow responds with Avalanche. Candace then heals it back to full, but then we kick back with a crit Ice Beam, ending the battle. 7th Gym Badge done and dusted. Now back to the Team Galactic plot. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn aren't much trouble, so leaping ahead to our battle against Cyrus in the Distortion World. Houndoom misses Will-O-Wisp as Konoha goes down for a dig and then takes down Houndoom in one shot. Crobat uses Confuse Ray on Haku but is still hit by a crit Ice Beam and Haku levels up to 57. Haku hurts itself in confusion, but luckily Honchkrow misses Heat Wave. Luckily the next Ice Beam lands to one-shot Honchkrow. We keep Haku out to soak up Gyarados' Intimidate and then switch out to Konoha taking Waterfall. Gyarados and Konoha bite each other. Cyrus heals Gyarados back up and Konoha uses Synthesis. Gyarados goes for Giga Impact, giving us the opportunity to get a couple more bites in to knock it out. Weavile fakes out Konoha in the first turn and then lands an Ice Punch, freezing Konoha in place. Nothing else we can do but go down to the next Ice Punch. So it's up to Haku. Weavile hits with Night Slash and Haku responds with Water Pulse, confusing our opponent. Weavile then hits itself next turn, triggering the Citrus Berry it is holding, and then... my notes say Konoha, but that's not right. It's Haku that uses Water Pulse again. Weavile and Haku exchange Night Slashes and Water Pulses, then eventually knock out Weavile, ending the battle. With that out of the way, I decide to have Konoha relearn Razor Leaf after long last. It won't be until level 71 before we get a proper upgrade. At this point, I don't really know if Bullet Seed was the better option or not, but we'll see. Onward to Sunny Shore City. And with that, it's Gym Leader Volkner. Konoha carries us through this battle with the use of Dig, taking down both Jolteon and Raichu in one shot. Though we become paralyzed by making contact with Raichu through its stack ability. Since we are slower, Luxray is able to use Ice Fang on Konoha before she digs down. The paralysis is also causing us to miss Dig on the way up a few times. We land Dig on our third attempt, but it isn't enough to knock out Luxray in one shot. We go for Synthesis to heal ourselves back up to survive the next bit of battle. We take 2 Ice Fangs before landing a Razor Leaf, knocking out Luxray. Electivire also provides a challenge paired with the paralysis. And we appear to have the same luck with digging as we did before. What's worse is that we then take a crit Fire Punch but somehow survive with 1 HP. Thank goodness for Synthesis. We just need one of these digs to connect. So we go for another and it hits, nearly knocking out Electivire. Konoha pushes through the Giga Impact and lands Razor Leaf, knocking out Electivire, ending the battle. 8th gym badge done and dusted. With all the badges collected, we can now traverse up Victory Road to reach our final rival battle at the Pokemon League. Staraptor pummels Haku with close combat, but he survives the hit to one-shot his foe down with Ice Beam. Infernip is one-shot by Dig. Sorry, buddy. Heracross takes a Water Pulse to the face, causing it to be confused. This confusion gets Heracross to hit itself before getting knocked down by a crit Ice Beam. Floatzel is one-shot by a crit Razor Leaf. Roserade puts Haku to sleep with Grass Whistle and can't seem to wake up before going down. Talk about getting knocked out cold. Konoha dives down to avoid Grass Whistle and one-shots Roserade with a crit on the way up. Thank you, King's Rock. Konoha goes for Bite twice, flinching on the first one before getting hit by a crit Body Slam. We go for Bite hoping to flinch or crit, but Snorlax survives and uses Rest to regain all of its HP. Konoha then lays on the Razor Leaves. After 3, Snorlax goes down, ending the battle. Okay, now it's time to take on the Pokemon League. Here is the team. Haku is our special attacker and decently tanky. Konoha is our physical attacker, physical wall, and faster of the two. I will be switching out Haku's held item for something more useful for battle, just not sure yet what. Comment down below your guesses if we can win this challenge or not. I only foresee problems against Flint with his fire types, and possibly a tough battle against Cynthia. Without any further ado, let's do this. First up is Elite 4 Aeron. Yanmega uses Double Team on the first turn, causing Haku to miss Ice Beam. This allows Yanmega's speed to go up thanks to its ability. But despite another Double Team being used, Haku lands the next Ice Beam, knocking out Yanmega in one shot. Konoha digs down, dodging Scissor's X Scissor. Dig brings Scissor down close to half, and then it hits with Night Slash. The second go of Dig gets us to duck another Night Slash, only for Scissor to survive the hit from Dig to retaliate with X Scissor. Aeron then heals Scissor back to full, and Konoha follows suit with Synthesis. We try for Bite hoping for the flinch, but it doesn't trigger and Konoha takes another X Scissor. So we go back to the Dig strategy, and King's Rock causes Scissor to flinch the Dig instead. And then the next Dig knocks out Scissor. Vespiquen is one shot by a crit Ice Beam, and Haku levels up to 63. But then Heracross is too strong as it is able to knock out both Haku with close combat and Mega Horn, then Konoha by getting healed twice by Aeron, and then with a Mega Horn Night Slash combo. So we go back for a bit of training and try again at level 66. Haku uses Ice Beam on Heracross, nearly knocking it out in one shot, but it survives and strikes with close combat. Aeron heals Heracross back to full, and then the next Ice Beam is able to knock it out. Konoha uses Dig on Drapion, triggering its Citrus Berry before it uses Cross Poison. But the following Dig knocks out Drapion, ending the battle. Now we can move on to Elite 4 Bertha. Konoha one-shots Whiscash with a crit Razor Leaf. Gliscor uses Earthquake on Haku before getting hit by Ice Beam, going down in one shot. Golem is one shot by Razor Leaf, and Rhyperior is hit by Razor Leaf, survives, heals back up with a Citrus Berry, misses Mega Horn, and then goes down to a second Razor Leaf. Finally, Hippowdon is one shot by a crit Razor Leaf, and Konoha levels up to 67, ending the battle. Next up to bat is Elite 4 Flint. Houndoom is one shot by Dig. Flareon is also one shot by Dig. Rapidash is one shot by Dig. Magmortar uses Flamethrower on Haku before taking a Water Pulse. Haku is then knocked out with a Thunderbolt. Weird. But then Konoha finishes off Magmortar with Dig. Infernape isn't one shot by Dig, but then knocks itself out with Flare Blitz, ending the battle. On to our final Elite 4 member, Lucian. Mr. Mime is one shot by Bite, and Konoha levels up to 68. Espeon takes the first bite and hits Konoha with a Signal Beam. Lucian heals Espeon back to full, but then Konoha unleashes 2 more bites on Espeon to knock it out. Bronzong is hit by Shadow Ball, surviving the first attack, and uses Psychic on Haku. The process repeats itself on the next turn, with a third Shadow Ball knocking out Bronzong. Gallade says it's time to duel as it nearly knocks out Haku with Stone Edge, but then Haku reveals his trap card, Water Pulse, to confuse Gallade. Does the Yu-Gi-Oh reference confuse you? Glade hurts itself next turn and then goes down to the Shadow Realm Ball, leveling up Haku to 67. Alakazam then knocks out Konoha and Haku with a Psychic to each of them. Alright, let's try again. This time at level 72. Yeah, it took us that many tries to get back up here. Glade is one shot by Leaf Blade, and then Alakazam is one shot by Bite, finishing off Lucian. Now, with all the Elite Four members defeated, it is time to take on Champion Cynthia. Spiritomb takes a Leaf Blade before using Shadow Ball, lowering Konoha's special defense. We then knock out Spiritomb with another Leaf Blade. Togekiss uses Aura Sphere on Haku, but he survives with a power of 69 to knock out Togekiss with Ice Beam. We're out of digs at this point, so we tried Leaf Blade on Lucario, but it's not very effective. Konoha is then hit with Aura Sphere. We use Synthesis next turn to heal up, but then we take another Aura Sphere. Konoha goes for another Leaf Blade, hoping for a crit, but Lucario survives and knocks out Konoha with one more Aura Sphere. Haku's Quick Claw activates, allowing his Water Pulse to strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Garchomp is sent out, but we are out of Ice Beams. So we try for Water Pulse, but Garchomp outspeeds us and knocks us out with Flamethrower. Again! Konoha, now level 75, hits with a crit Leaf Blade to knock out Spiritomb. Haku, now level 71, with Quick Claw triggering, lands an Ice Beam to one-shot Togekiss. Lucario is one-shot by Dig. Roserade uses Sludge Bomb on Haku, poisoning him in the process, before getting knocked out by Ice Beam in one shot. Garchomp uses Flamethrower on Haku, but survives with 29 HP. Haku responds with Ice Beam to one-shot Garchomp. Haku, with 4 HP left, switches out to Konoha to one-shot Milotic down with a Leaf Blade, ending the battle. And we did it! We beat Pokemon Platinum with a team of Leafeon and Glaceon. So my plan was to upload this on Valentine's Day weekend, and at this rate, I may be a day short. But let's not let that sour our victory. Look at what a strong pair can accomplish. I don't know what I'll be doing for the next challenge yet, so stay tuned for when I decide that. Leave a comment down below on your suggestions for future challenges. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more, and ring the bell to be notified for whenever a new video goes up. So until then you guys, this is SolarPrimal signing out. Have a happy Valentine's Day, and bye for now.